Nice cavernous area. Anyway, this area up here is interesting because it is on, this is the backside. This bench in the cockpit is the backside for this. I've seen people cut this out and put like their library back there, put all their books back up in there. So it's kind of like a wasted space, and I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, switch panel, your standard switches for electronics, the water system, forward electric head, refrigeration, bilge operations, cabinet lights, all that good stuff. You have your electrolysis monitor here. Of course, battery 1 and 2 switchable on this, and then there's your main battery switch to switch the banks in and out. This is the main bilge pump under the engine, and this is the secondary bilge pump, which is right under here. There's 2 bilge areas. Oh, another thing I didn't mention about the engine area is this boat came with a halon system. It's got a halon flame retardant, I guess you could call it, system. Really interesting. I've had experience with halon systems in the communications industry, so I was kind of glad to see that. Okay, so 8D battery, which is coming out. I've got another marine battery. I've got a marine battery on the floor back here, which I've got hooked into the system till I can get this bad 8D out of here, which I'm going to enlist the help of probably a couple of the younger guys in the marina to give me a hand with that. Some storage behind the back of the seats, storage under the back, which we're not utilizing, storage under here. This is going to have to be redone. When they put this together, interestingly, whoever made the changes that I'll explain in a minute, they used pine and they nailed in the fiddle and the wood. The frame behind it screwed together, but then they use nails for the rest of it, so it's not real sturdy, and that's going to have to be shored up, redone. I don't like the pine trim on it, so I'll probably change that. But anyway, storage under there. We got a bunch of canned foods, so this boat has a lot of storage. Nice oil lamp. We're going to move the clock. That clock's temporary. That's our barometer, which actually dropped down a little bit earlier because we had some weather coming in down here. And then we move up into the pantry and forward. Alright, so originally on this boat, this wall, from about here down, well, from about here up, this was all moved back to right in line with that. And you had this shelf that came out with a fiddle around it and came to about right here. And this would have been the seat back about right here. This has actually been scooted forward, and that wall has been scooted all the way up here to make one vertical wall to open this up for the pilot berth they had. I guess that would make sense for shore or makes sense for just coastal cruising. Somebody comes off watch and they want to jump down in the pilot berth, but for what we're doing, it doesn't make sense. So we've turned this into the pantry, and like I said, Brett's going to completely wall this in. He's going to put shelves in here, nice doors, redo this trim, and give us access to the storage under here. This area up here is going to be our sail locker. There's going to be a wall between here and the pantry, and this is all just going to be for sails and whatever else we want to stack in here. We'll finish these doors off and get them put in properly. So that will kind of put this back to kind of how it was supposed to be. Anyway, it brings us up to the V-Berth, which right now we're using to store rods and reels. And this is actually a really big V-Berth and very comfortable. You can see the old stock lighting from the factory, both sides. I replaced these with LEDs, although they've seen better days. The covers have. Wiring needs to be trimmed up, which it will be. Very comfortable. Very, very comfortable cushions. The oil lamps that were left here by Rita, the previous owner, graciously left us the oil lamps. I haven't like restored them, but I've cleaned them up and they're all in working order. It's really cool. Anyway, storage down below. Got a drawer here, and underneath the cushion in the back there, you got pull-up lids. We've got a bunch of beans and rice and different things. As you can see, rice here. Same thing on this side. Got a drawer, and then a big storage area back here. 60 to 80 gallon water tank under here, and that's what I explained was plumbed over there by the sink. It seems to be plumbed just to that. It's not hooked into the rest of the water system like the other two tanks are, which is really strange, but I can guarantee you it will be. So okay, so we got the anchor locker up here. It's a pretty good sized anchor locker. The anchor locker has, right now we've got our 150 feet of the highest test chain that you can get, and I'm thinking about probably mounting a battery in there for the windlass, tied into the rest of the system, and have the battery be for the windlass, because we have had much better experience with having a battery right by the windlass, short run of wire to the windlass, get all the power to the windlass that you need. We did that on the Columbia and it worked wonderfully. I'm thinking about quarantining off part of the left side, the port side of the anchor locker. There's another opening to drop chain into, and I've got another 100 feet of chain for secondary anchor. So I may quarantine that off and put a different set of chain on that port side there, so that I can have two anchors hooked up. Anyway, oddly, I can extend this out. The head has two entrances to it. Why they put two entrances? Only the designer knows, because I can't figure it out. I haven't seen this referenced with any reasons as to why they would have done that in any literature. Anyway, so you open the head, and you got your standard head here. Very spacious, actually. Lots of room back in these little sliding cabinet areas. Nice room up there. I'm going to redo the shower head in here like I did in the aft. Electric flush toilet. Access to some wiring runs through there, and the plumbing for the forward holding tank. Anyway, this thing's hilarious, but it works. So lights, these are the only lights that I have not changed into LEDs. Okay, here's that other door. Now, one part of this I understand, because this door doubles as a flip the latch across and make it a privacy door for the forward cabin. Okay, good. So this door just for convenience of, well, gee, I'm in the head, I can just walk straight this way, or I can go back out here and walk around. It doesn't make much sense. I haven't figured it out, but we will figure this out one day. This door's a little sticky. We'll get that figured out one day as to why we have two doors here. But okay, good. Well, we can handle that. Anywho, so brings us back to the salon, or saloon, depending upon how you want to pronounce it. And yeah, that's kind of our boat tour. Oh, somebody put in another hatch up here, which is nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, water tankage. Yeah, I told you about the 50 gallon in here. There's a 32 gallon on the other side of the engine, right by the underneath or next to the 50 gallon diesel tank. I'd like a little more diesel than 50, but that's what we've got. I may expand that. And then 60 to 80 gallons up here. So we've got a total of, what is that? 120 about. Got about 100, and if I'm thinking what we have, about 180 gallons of water. And that's okay, because we've got the water maker, which is now sitting up on top of here, but it'll be plumbed in and mounted. So there you have it. Questions, comments, let me know, and we'll get back to you.